Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
You may know about the Maya civilization from movies like Apocalypto. Or perhaps you remember that some people thought the Maya calendar predicted the end of the world in 2012. Many times people say the world will end, but it never does. Still, with big problems, some wonder if such a prediction could be true. Over 1,000 years ago, the amazing Maya civilization was very powerful. It was one of the greatest societies in the Americas. They built huge pyramids and beautiful cities. They were smart in astronomy and made detailed calendars. But then, this impressive civilization just seemed to disappear. How could the Maya predict a world cycle's end but not their own collapse? How did their great cities become empty? Buildings were left unfinished. Art was stopped halfway. It looked like people just left very quickly. The Maya lived in places like modern-day Guatemala, southern Mexico, and Belize. They started as small farming villages. Over many years, these villages became large, strong cities. They built big religious places and palaces. They also created a complex writing system. This book will try to answer the big mystery. Why did the Maya civilization fall apart? Was it wars? Did the weather change, causing food problems? We will look at different ideas about what caused the end of this great culture. This story remains a mystery even today. 2. A long time ago. The first signs of the Mayan civilization appeared a very long time ago, around 1500 BC. These early Maya people lived in what is now Guatemala, southern Mexico, and parts of Belize. They started with small villages. Life in these villages focused on farming. They grew important foods like maize, which is corn, along with beans and squash. Over time, they learned better ways to farm, like using irrigation to water their crops and building terraces on hillsides. During these early years, the Maya lived near another important group called the Olmecs. Many experts once thought the Olmecs were the first big culture in the region and taught the Maya many things. However, new discoveries have changed this idea. Archaeologists like Dr. Takeshi Inamata and Dr. Daniela Triadan found older buildings in the Mayan city of Sabile than in Olmec cities. This suggests that the Maya and Olmecs developed at the same time, helping each other grow. Over time, around 400 BC, the Olmec culture slowly faded away, but the Maya continued to grow stronger. As centuries passed, the small Mayan villages became bigger, turning into real cities. These were not just simple farm communities anymore. The new cities had large religious centers, big temples, and beautiful palaces. They also built fields for games and public gathering places. The Maya also made important advancements. They developed a complex writing system using pictures, which we call hieroglyphs. Experts believe this writing system was created between 200 and 300 BC. Much of what we know about the Maya comes from their writings carved on stone, and from 4 special books called codices. Sadly, Spanish explorers destroyed most of these books later, calling them pagan. 3. a great time for the Maya. The Maya civilization had a very special time, often called their Golden Age. This period lasted from the year 250 AD to 900 AD. During these years, the Maya made amazing progress and showed how smart they were. They were excellent astronomers, studying the stars and planets carefully. This deep knowledge helped them create a very complex calendar system, one of the most advanced in the world. They used two calendars. One had 18 months, each with 20 days. The other was the long count calendar. Some people today thought this calendar meant the world would end in 2012. But the Maya actually had even longer time units, so this was a mistake. The world continued. The Maya also built grand pyramids in cities. You can still see places like Chichen Itza, Tikal, Palenque, and Tulum today. These cities had wonderful buildings. Many of their structures were not just beautiful, they were also connected to the Maya study of the sky. For example, at Chichen Itza, there is a round building called El Caracol on top of a pyramid. It looks like a modern observatory. This dome-shaped building was perfectly aligned with the movements of the planet Venus. From this high place, Maya astronomers and religious leaders could easily watch the night sky, looking over the thick jungle. The Maya believed the sun, moon, and stars moved in ways that were very important. They thought these movements were linked to their gods' wishes. They also understood that life and time happened in cycles. This golden age truly showed the great abilities of the Maya people as they built a strong and knowledgeable society. 4. Gods and ball games. The Maya had strong beliefs. They believed humans were made from maize, or corn. Their stories say gods first tried to make people from mud. These fell apart. Then gods tried wood, but these were washed away. Finally, using maize, they made strong humans. This showed corn's great importance to their life. The Maya also valued things differently. Gold, later important to others, was not special for them. They used it for jewelry and religious items, but not for trade. The Maya did not use coins, they traded goods. For them, green jade was much more valuable than gold. Their beliefs included a heaven with 13 layers and an underworld called Xibalba with 9 layers. Each underworld layer had a death lord. Souls of the dead went through Xibalba to reach heaven. It was a hard journey, but a special way to the highest heaven was for people killed as sacrifices or at the ball game. Women dying in childbirth also went straight to this heaven. Human sacrifice was part of their religion. They painted the person blue and put a special hat on them. 4 men held them. Their heart was taken out and they were decapitated. This often happened atop a temple for all to see. It was a big gift, a blood offering to the gods. Animals were also sacrificed, but human blood was most important. Sacrifices happened when a new temple or ruler began. Losing a high-stakes ball game could also mean sacrifice. The Mayan ball game was more than a sport. It connected deeply to their gods and beliefs. They built large playing fields in an eye shape. some bigger than modern football fields. The game was based on a story about two important god brothers. It showed the fight between good and evil. Players could only hit the ball with their right hip, elbow, or knee. The ball was heavy, about 3 or 4 kilograms, and could not touch the ground. Teams had 2 to 6 players. The goal was to pass the ball through a tiny stone ring high on the wall. Many historians believe the losing team or a captured king was sacrificed. The ball game was very serious and sacred for the Maya. 5. Many kings, many cities. The Mayan civilization was not like a single big country. Instead, it was more like many small countries that shared a culture. We can compare them to the city-states in ancient Greece. Each Mayan city was its own independent state. Sometimes these cities even fought against each other for power. Each Mayan city had its own ruler. This ruler was called an Ajau. Most of the time, the Ajau was seen as a godlike figure. People believed these rulers had special connections to the gods. Many Ajaus were buried in grand pyramids when they died. For example, Pakal was a powerful ruler of the city of Palenque. When he died, he was placed inside his own pyramid. He was buried with valuable things like jade, special masks for the dead, and even bodies of 5 or 6 sacrificed people. This shows how important and powerful these rulers were. However, not all Mayan places had a single powerful ruler. One special example is the village of Suren. This village was in what is now El Salvador. Around 600 AD, a volcano buried Suren. When archaeologists dug up the village, they found something different. There was no sign of a rich, ruling class. Instead, it looked like everyone in Suren lived and worked together. It was a communal village, meaning people shared things and decided together. Many Mayan cities grew large and strong. Cancun, a place many people know today, was once a very important Mayan city. It was a wealthy city up until around 800 AD. Finds from Cancun show its power and wealth during that time. For example, a carved stone panel from 795 AD shows the ruler of Cancun. This city, like many others, played an important part in the Mayan world. The way these cities were organized, with many rulers and city-states, shaped the Mayan civilization for hundreds of years. 6. The first problems. For many centuries, the Mayan cities were strong and growing. But then, around the year 800 AD, things began to change. The first clear signs of trouble appeared across the land. The Mayan civilization did not disappear quickly all at once. Instead, it seems it fell slowly over about 100 years. Different areas and cities faced their problems at different times. In some places, the mystery of what happened is very deep. It looks like the people living there just got up and left one day, very suddenly. This can be seen in the ancient city of Bonampak. Inside one of its buildings, there are amazing wall paintings. These murals show a Mayan ruler winning a big battle around the year 791 AD. But then the artwork just stops. You can still see half-finished drawings on the walls today. This tells us that the artists were still working and planning to finish the paintings. But they never did. They simply abandoned their work and departed. Another city, Aguateca, located in what is now Guatemala, tells a similar strange story. Builders and artists were busy constructing a temple there. But at some point, their work stopped completely in the middle. Parts of the temple's stone were smoothed and ready for the usual detailed carvings found in Mayan temples. Yet these carvings never appeared. It was as if the workers were called away, or perhaps something serious happened to them. Archaeologists made another important discovery in Aguateca. In the years just before this temple was mysteriously left, the people of Aguateca had built new defensive structures. These included palisades and other strong walls around their city. This suggests that the people felt a growing threat. Were they worried about invaders? Had other cities nearby already been attacked? These new walls strongly point to a time of danger and fear. These strange events, sudden abandonment, unfinished art, and new defenses, were not just in a few cities. This problem was seen across many parts of the Mayan civilization. The collapse seemed to start in areas like Petex Batun and then spread across the Usamahita River region. Scribes, who wrote down history, stopped their work. Artists stopped creating sculptures. Many buildings and artworks were left incomplete. This period marked a time of great problems and many unanswered questions for the Mayan people. 7. Why did they leave? After Chapter 6, where we saw cities like Bonampak and Aguateca left suddenly, people started to ask, why did they leave? Many smart people have thought about this for a long time. They have some ideas about why the great Mayan cities disappeared. One main idea is that there were too many people living in the cities. The biggest Mayan city, Tikal, had about 50,000 people around the year 900. This number was very large for that time. So many people put a huge strain on the land and its resources. The Mayans found it very hard to grow enough food for everyone. This problem led to people being unhappy and hungry. It caused famine, and many people might have left the cities to find food in the countryside. Another important idea is about the weather. Scientists have found strong signs of a very long and severe dry period called a drought. This happened in the lowlands where many Mayan cities were built. It started around the same time the population reached its highest point, in the early 900s. Scientists from Cambridge University, like Nicholas Evans, studied mud from Lake Chichen Canab in the Mayan lands. They found that the amount of rainfall went down a lot. It decreased by 41 to 54% for long periods. This was not just one dry year. It happened over 400 years. This meant the Mayans could not save enough food and water to prepare for the long, severe drought when it came. Sadly, the Mayans might have made the drought worse themselves. To feed their growing population, Mayan farmers used a method called slash-and-burn agriculture. They cut down a lot of the surrounding forest to make new fields for maize. They also used many trees for building and for fires. When many trees are cut down, it is called deforestation. This deforestation likely caused local climate change. With fewer trees to absorb gases, the air became hotter and there was much less rain. This self-made problem made the natural drought even worse. With less food and water, people became even more upset. The Mayan rulers, called Ajas, were connected to the gods. People expected their rulers to provide a good life. If food was low and water was scarce, people might have believed their rulers were failing. This could have led to some people leaving the cities. Others might have even rebelled against their rulers. This could explain why some cities were left so quickly, with unfinished artwork and no new temples. But not all problems came from inside the cities. Some Mayan cities built new, strong walls and defenses. This shows they felt danger from outside attacks. Historians think that Mayan cities fought against each other more often during this time. The long drought and lack of food caused more conflicts. Texts from the 900s talk about more wars. Archaeologists have found stone carvings showing kings from different cities taken as prisoners after battles. When cities fought, it became very hard to trade. The Mayan economy was based a lot on trading goods. War blocked important trade routes. This meant less food and other vital goods could move between cities. For the Mayan people, this was very bad. It made life even harder. Some rulers might have attacked other cities just to get food and supplies. So, it seems that many difficult things happened at the same time. There were too many people, not enough food because of a big drought, and more wars between cities. These problems combined to quickly destroy the mighty Mayan cities in the southern lowlands. 8. The Maya are still here. While many Mayan cities in the south fell, some cities in the north continued to thrive. Places like Chichen Itza and Uxmal lasted for another 150 years. These northern cities were strong. For example, Uxmal built the Grand Governor's Palace in the 10th century. This shows that the city was not just surviving, but doing very well. However, in the 11th century, these northern cities also became empty. New buildings were left unfinished, and areas like Puc around Uxmal lost all their people. Chichen Itza also became empty later. Why this second collapse happened is not fully clear. Maybe these northern areas had less severe droughts. Or perhaps they used resources from the empty southern lands for a time. But in the end, it seems their way of life and farming could not support so many people in large cities forever. The most important thing to remember is that the Maya people did not disappear. Only their great cities and the rule of their kings ended. Today, millions of Maya descendants live in Mexico and Central America. About 7 million people identify as Maya. They live in countries like Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, parts of Honduras, and especially the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Many of them continue to speak Mayan languages, even with Spanish now being common. For example, in the Yucatan state, Mexico's National Institute of Geography and Informatics says that 60% of people speak Mayan. In Guatemala, about 42% of the population has Mayan roots. These modern Maya people work hard to keep their culture alive. They follow ancient customs, wear traditional clothes, and use old farming methods. They also make traditional jewelry and keep their ancestors' family names. So, in many ways, Mayan culture continues today, long after their great civilization changed. However, life is often difficult for them. Mayan people sometimes face unfair treatment and even violence in their countries. For example, during the Civil War in Guatemala, which ended in 1996, many Maya people were attacked and killed. The Maya are still here, showing great strength and keeping their traditions alive. What part of the Maya's long story, from their powerful cities to their modern-day descendants, do you find most inspiring?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.